Hello and welcome to New World Comics Podcast. I'm Buck Berlin, owner-operator of this fine establishment, and I guess star of the podcast, co-star, I don't know.
You finally made it. Good job.
I made something. Joining with me is Stephanie Cerny.
Hey.
Woo! Running the show is the voice of God, Brad Reed.
Blessed be.
Yeah, you can catch Brad on the Nerds to Men podcast, which he so graciously invites me on each week. And I get to make up things and say funny words there.
Praise him.
Joined with us this week is Dre Braggs.
Hi, I'm Dre Braggs.
There you go. Yeah, you're learning how this thing works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say words and look into the camera dramatically.
Oh, God, is that how this works?
Yeah.
God, now I've learned how this works, too.
Because this podcast is going to get dark and gritty.
Oh, really? I like the 80s.
I had hair back then.
Really?
It was awesome.
Huh. I think you've got some right now.
Yeah, it was on the other side.
Oh.
About as wavy. Because of Jerry curl.
I don't know what to say to that.
Just say that I had my soul glow.
You had your soul glow. Anyway, Dre, why don't you tell us who you are and what you do around these parts?
By what I do you mean here or
Both.
in life? My name is Dre Braggs. I work at where do I work again? I work at Zoo Friends at Oklahoma City Zoo. Handle the memberships. Work with Stephen Kerr, whom you may remember from a previous podcast. Here I do superhero school. Previously, if there was ever anybody that was black or painted green, it was me. Now I just do what I can when I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have you host things like anytime I need a personality, you're the first person I call.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for the New World Con, it was I need someone to host the costume contest. Who can I have that will, keep the crowd going?
Oh, I was that guy?
Yeah.
You were that guy.
I was that guy.
You still are that guy.
Twice.
Yeah.
By the way, if you had Creatures and Cocktails at the zoo last year, I was that guy that did that costume contest too. Yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there. Plug.
This got weird quick.
Yeah.
All right.
All the crazy eyes going on.
Give it time.
So before we get into your involvement here, I want to know what got you into comics.
Well, I guess the answer to that would be who got me into comics. His name is Daniel. When I was in the third or fourth grade, I met a guy named Daniel who was just as socially awkward as I was at the time. He was super into comic books. He had a huge collection already at that time. And for me, at that point, my comic book knowledge was just movies and cartoons, which it was late 80s, early 90s. We had tons of cool cartoons and stuff coming on. We had, X-Men was on. You had the Spider-Man show was coming on. It was tons of stuff. And every time I would get excited about something, Daniel would be like, there's a comic book about that. You like Blade, right? Yeah, you saw the guy with the motorcycle in the Spider-Man cartoon? Hey, check this out. And he would slide me stuff. So from then I started to collect comics. But I didn't have a whole lot of knowledge about collecting comics at the time. So it was really awkward because I would just go and get a Wolverine comic book at the grocery store. But I didn't care about numbers, volumes, or nothing. I was just ooh, a Wolverine comic book. And I would get it. And I would read it, and I'd be completely lost as to where the story was at. So I was like, okay, well, this was just the adventure he had this particular time. And then the next week, I would just get something that would be completely unrelated to that particular issue. And then I got really excited when I found out that they did things like crossovers in the trades. Mm-hmm. First one I got was the Superman versus Aliens. And that was two of my favorite things at the time. So I about lost my mind when I checked that one out. And then later on I was like, wait a minute, Batman fought the Predator too? Are you serious right now? This is the most amazing thing ever. So I just kept trying to get as many of those crossovers as I can. Which, interestingly enough, I had lost my Superman versus Aliens comic book, or they just say it got stolen, and I kind of off and on searched for that for years. Finally found it after I met you. I got it from right here at New World Comics. Thank you for bringing back part of my childhood.
That's what I'm here for. That Superman Aliens crossover was really pretty good.
It was.
Because most of the crossovers like that are kind of a cash grab and they're pretty awful.
Yeah.
Honestly. But this one, Superman loses his powers because he's not near the sun.
Yeah.
So then it's Superman and his wits versus the Xenomorphs.
Yeah, that's what made it cool because like as I was reading the cover, I was looking at the cover, I was like, oh, he's going to wipe the floor with them. They can't do nothing. At this particular time, I didn't even know that Superman could lose his powers being away from the sun because Christopher Reeve movies didn't explain none of that stuff.
Right.
So I guess I was like, wait a minute, he's got a weakness other than kryptonite? Oh, no, he's losing these powers? Oh, my God, it's about to go down. Like I was so excited about everything, especially like towards the ending when the face grabber gets him and he's having the trouble. Yep. Oh, yeah, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
No, it's good stuff. So I guess we should jump to how you got involved here, which is absolutely one of my favorite things of all time.
Yeah, we've talked about this story a couple of times.
Yeah. And much to our editor's chagrin, there are pictures.
Oh, dang it. Much to my chagrin.
Yep. Oh, I kept the pictures.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah.
I bet you did. Yeah, so if you've heard the story already, we had a mutual friend before me and Buck met named Joe Evans. Joe, if you're watching, love you, buddy. Joe did superhero school around here, and then at that particular time, they were wanting to do an Incredible Hulk show. So Buck was getting Joe to do to get somebody to be an Incredible Hulk, and Joe was like, "Yo, I got this guy to be an Incredible Hulk. It's my next door neighbor. He is huge. He's a big, muscular guy. He's going to be perfect for the Incredible Hulk." Now, bear in mind, the guy that he was actually talking about fits that description perfectly. He's a big, large, hulking man. He's a bouncer at all the bars and clubs at the time. Like, dude is large. He's that kind of big where ain't none of his shirts baggy. like, every shirt this dude owns is tight, no matter how big. So
Joe, like there's no understanding how much Joe talked this guy up. Yeah. Like he promised the world to us. He was like, he's bigger than your X-Men machine.
You're right.
He has to walk through doors sideways, and he has to duck while he does it.
Yeah. Like, he can't even wipe himself.
Yeah,
he can't.
Like
turn around.
every time he brought this guy up for 2 weeks, he kept talking about this guy. He was like, he's in everything. Like we're good to go. And knowing Joe, love him to death, but you got to keep on him.
Yeah, right.
So.
Yeah. So the time comes, it's showtime. The next day is going to happen. Apparently Joe could not get a hold of the guy who lives next door to him. So who does Joe call at midnight saying, man, Dre, I need you to come and be the Incredible Hulk for a thing at the comic book shop. I was like, when? He's like, tomorrow. And, I was like, what? I was like, you want me to be the Incredible Hulk? I'm 5'9", right? I was like, I don't think the kids is gonna buy that. Most of them is my height. I don't think that's gonna work at all. It's like, nah, it'll be fine, man. You just gotta, show out. Just go up there and just, be crazy and all that. I was like, I could do crazy, but like, we don't see how this goes. So, cut to the next morning. I show up. I ain't mentioned.
And Joe is supposed to be here first. Like Joe was like, I'll get there like half an hour before my guy. Like, we'll make sure that because like I didn't want to just randomly kick someone out.
Yeah.
The morning, like, oh, sir, we're not open yet, and
right. Yeah, I think that's probably why he had me spend the night that night. And I was like, okay. And of course, me and him, we're best buds, so we hung out pretty hard. So waking up the next morning was not easy. So we show up, we get here, and as soon as I walk in the door, it was like, oh, so you're the Hulk. Okay, strip.
Yep. Well, because it was I don't have time to find anyone else. Oh, no.
I mean,
oh, no.
Yeah, it's bad. We show up there and it's like me, and then they got somebody to play She-Hulk who is taller than me.
Yeah.
By like a extensive margin. Like she was like a martial artist too.
Yeah.
So like yeah, she was in way better shape than I was. And I mean, so they gave me my wardrobe, which consisted of these sweatpants that were cut and they were purple, and like which I refer to as slave pants because they're supposed to be cut so it would go above the knees, but I'm a short guy, so they went right down to my ankles.
They would have been like capris on the other dude. But yeah, for you, like they came with, and it was oh no.
Yeah, the vibe it got was like I got angry and my feet grew at the top real big and just ripped all my stuff up. I'm just sitting there with these people I've never met before in, nothing but these weird looking pants, and they're all painting me, and Buck is just giggling because he's drawing like faces on the top of my head.
Yep. I think I have a picture of that too.
I'm sure you do have a picture of that.
I don't know. I've deleted a few from time to time. Maybe it's not there anymore.
With my luck, it's there.
We'll see.
It's right there.
If we have it, it'll be right here. If not, sorry, guys.
So we get painted and everything, and I've got like this god awful wig on.
Oh yeah, it was a John Lennon like Beatles wig because it's the only wig that they had that was the right color.
Yeah,
because like everything else was like blonde or red, like things that we can't find to save our lives now. Like this was the only dark-haired wig that wasn't like super long.
Yeah.
So we got it and we messed it up just enough and put it on, and it's passable.
Everything was passable. I mean, they painted muscles on me, so that was passable.
Yeah.
They drew like angry eyebrows, which was hilarious, but passable.
Yeah, I mean, when you see the finished product and like particularly in person, it was that's not half bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite part was they were like, okay, now let's see your angry face, and my was like. Oh, and I just booked my eyes as big as I could, and with the weird like eyebrows, it came off as super weird. So like we go in the back getting ready for the superhero school, and he's like, "Okay, so when you come out, just like be super loud and roar as loud as you can." And I was like, "Okay, I can do loud." As soon as it's time to come, I think
So, but before you get there,
Yeah.
there was there's some in between because we had Jesse. Who was on one of the previous podcasts, play Bruce Banner, who's 5'11", right?
taller.
And it was Jesse's first superhero school too.
And how old was Jesse back then?
16.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15, 16.
Yeah.
So, he was super nervous about it. I was like, don't worry about it. You just need to get angry. Just get the most angry you've ever been. The kids usually interrupt, because kids, don't always remember to raise their hand. And like just anytime that something happens, just snap at the kids and just, build it up. And then eventually you're just going to have to burst through the back door. And then you slam it. And then Dre comes out. He says, okay, I've got it. So I got him ready. And then to get you ready, like since I knew that, you've watched movies, and I'm a jerk. So I said, "All right, remember, Dre, you're a big, bright, shiny star. You're a big, bright, shiny star." And you're like, "No, why would you tell me that?" That's all I can think about.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yep.
Right before going to see kids, like,
Yep.
I feel bad for the people that don't get the reference.
Don't Google it.
Don't Google Big Bright Shining Star.
And now you say that, everybody's going to.
Especially not at work. If you're going to, save for later. But anyway, so that's me being mean to this guy that I hadn't met before, but like we got along famously, like right off the bat.
It was real quick.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we've seen a lot of the same movies.
Yeah, well, and our sense of humor just kind of clicked, right? So I do that to you, and then Jesse's right out the gate, starts the show. So he comes out, and the kids are so incredibly well behaved
Like
to this
the
one.
best behaved they've been up until this point at a superhero school.
Yeah, like all of them sat up straight and were just very attentive and raised their hand exactly when one would need to.
Yeah, so Jesse's just like, I don't know what, like, I can't. What am I supposed to do?
So like one of them like politely raised their hand whenever he stopped talking, and he was like, "Don't interrupt." So midway through her asking a question, he says, "You're making me so angry." Then he paused. Said, "Grrr!"
And he does
Then he
this
turned around
thing with his
slowly.
hands. He's like, I'm so angry.
Slowly walked to the back door. Remembered, oh yeah, slam it. So he opened it, shut it, and slammed it. And then he says,
I can't even remember exactly what it was that he said, but I just remember it was hysterical to me. And it might have just been like, "You're up" or something.
no,
like that.
you said, "You're up."
The way he said it too, I had to pause for a second to not laugh. You're up. So then I'm like, all right, big bright shiny star, let's do this. And I come out there and I'm like, I'm about to give my best Lou Ferrigno, and I come out there and I bust through the door and I'm like, "Rah!" Kid in the front row immediately starts crying.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, yeah, and this is the early days of superhero school, so we don't know exactly what we're doing.
yeah.
Yeah.
All I see is this little kid crying, and I'm like, oh, I'm never going to be invited back here.
So,
Ever.
yeah, so at the time, the way Lori kind of did the superhero schools, it was more like a superhero fashion show that had like information kind of given at the time. So you didn't necessarily have to talk too terribly much. So like you just said a few things.
Yeah, just a lot of monosyllabic stuff.
Yeah, and you just kind of flexed at the kids and did all that, and everything was fine. And the superhero schools at the time were 30 minutes maybe.
They were very short.
Like it was you and She-Hulk, and that was it.
That was it, yeah.
Yeah. And then afterwards it was, here's some pages to color and get your picture taken with the characters.
Yeah.
So all the girls wanted to get their picture taken with She-Hulk. All the kids wanted pictures of you, but not with you. They would stand up and wave.
Yeah. It's like, I was not feeling that.
Yeah. But yeah, and then the kids would like, why don't you go take your picture? Like they wanted their parents to go get their picture taken with them.
Yeah, there was a lot of fear of the Hulk. I was like, man, this is awful. Like, you wake up early on a Saturday morning, scare the crap out of a whole bunch of kids. I guess a wrap on the rest of the day. Like, oh man.
Yeah, so I felt really bad about that, and then like you went and showered, and then you came back and hung out for the rest of the afternoon, and that's when it was I love this guy. This guy's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was by far the longest shower I've ever had to take. Like before then, I hadn't done any cosplaying. Halloween costumes was my extent, and so like having full body paint like that's a long shower right there.
And that was before we started using the nicer paint.
Yeah. We used the super cheap cream.
Yeah, we didn't know any better. We didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all brand new to everybody. And again, Joe, big shout out. Thank you for letting me use your shower. Because that was a mess in there.
Yeah, there's still green paint on the bathroom wall from, like you lightly touched it.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, whatever we use, we've painted over it before and it just bleeds through. Like, I'm gonna have to sandblast it or something. But like it's the rest of the wall is just pristine. It's just this one little dude.
Make sure y'all never forget me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so weird because like from that point on, I don't imagine superhero school without you. Like it's weird now that you haven't been in so many this year. But like you've done so many of them now that I can't remember what the next one was that you were in. Like it wasn't far from.
It wasn't far from, and it was an Avengers Day. And this was the one where I remember that we had Phoenix. She was Miss Marvel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think Joe was there.
He was the Falcon.
He might have been Falcon. I was Hulk again.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was Hulk again, and this time we didn't do the eyebrows quite angry.
Yeah.
Like, he had normal eyebrows, and I was hopping and skipping. I was like, Hulk is a nice guy. Hulk is a nice guy. Like, I was trying to overly cutify the Hulk.
Yeah.
I was like singing children's songs as the Hulk. It was like, Hulk ain't gonna do no smash. Hulk ain't gonna do no smash. Hulk ain't gonna do no smash because I'm really nice. Like it was just real stuff. But the kids were much, much happier about it. And I remember it was the first time that I guess I had a fan at that time because it was I can't remember the little girl's name, but it was the one that stabbed Lex Luthor.
Oh, yeah. We don't use her name.
Yeah, we refer to her as the instigator.
It was the day that the instigator, like, she was like super excited about the Hulk, and she drew a mask of the Hulk and like gave it to me. It was the first time a kid had given me one like a souvenir, and then she wanted to take pictures with the Hulk, and she did like her girl face, and it was adorable. I was like, oh man, I could get used to this. It was over from then on.
So that's how we get you back. The kids just got to stroke the ego just so, and you're back.
Like more adoring fans.
Yeah, start paying these kids off to be fans.
All right, done.
Tell Dre you love him. Here's $1. Say that Black Panther is awesome.
Yeah, that reminds me of another story.
What's that?
Oh God.
Of the time that one of the kids' moms gives you her phone number. Which could be another way we can get you back.
Yeah, that was that whole day was a weird day. We learned a very valuable lesson about costuming then, and that was the importance of a dance belt.
Yeah, so
which is on the list.
That's on the list.
Yes.
So let's yeah, we'll get back to this question that I had next, but let's jump right into that. So we learned the importance of dancer's belt because of Marcus, honestly, one of the other guys who does the dress up for us. So you were Black Panther the very first time when we realized this problem, that the spandex it shows a lot. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot left to the imagination.
There is not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all out there for people to see. It was
Right.
like, even with shorts on over the spandex, it was like, I still see what you did there, buddy.
Yeah, and Marcus was sitting like front row.
Yeah.
And afterwards he was like, it was just like right there. It's like it was talking to me, not Black Panther. And we're like, oh, we should probably look into that. And then Kira was like, they make things for that. So male dancers who want to have some discretion have this thing called a dancer's belt. And they make several different kind. Like they make one that kind of looks like a jockstrap. They make one that's kind of like a thong, and then they make some that are like briefs. Mm-hmm. Almost everyone up here has gone with the briefs. Almost.
No, I got the briefs too.
I'm not asking.
There's no thongs here, y'all.
Don't lie.
I mean, not superhero school related.
Oh no! Which you can see pics here. No. Just joking.
I'm sure there probably are tons of. That was what really was like the most awful thing. Is like, how Facebook does the memories of the Facebook memories. It'll show you pictures, and like every now and then some of the parents of the kids who were there that day, who I'm like friends with now, like their Facebook memories will show with a tag picture of me, and it's like I'm just hugging their kid, and the kid is like writing like I've raged, and I'm like, oh, bro, this poor little child has got his.
Again, we've learned a lot over the years of let's not. Yeah. So now, anytime a guy joins superhero school and has to put on a spandex suit or something like that, it's the, hey, by the way, dancer's belt.
Yeah, there's a dancer store just down the street.
Yeah,
we send them there.
Yeah, we do the, hey, go tell them that you're doing superhero school, and they know. They're like, oh, you want come on over here.
Yeah, they know us now.
Yeah.
And of course, on that same day during the superhero school, one of the moms asked me for my number.
Yeah, well, and then on one of them there was the lady from the there was a Goodwill in the strip mall.
That's the one.
Oh, that's the one.
That's the one. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the Goodwill lady was just trying to be funny the entire time, and then she just flat out.
She kept interrupting the whole thing. I was like, lady, you do not understand. There's like a show going on. It's
like, I'm one of the real heroes. These guys are just fake. I was like, you want us to do a superhero school about you next?
Yeah. The lady was like, I'm military. I'm a real hero. I do that. And it's we're not saying you're not, but this is obviously a thing for kids.
Yeah.
of course this is all make-believe.
Right.
What's wrong with you?
Like, none of us think we really have powers.
Yeah. Well, then if she knew how many people in superhero school have actually served, like it's, yeah,
It's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. It's like you're trying to be polite and interact with these kids, but you just like, I just want to spring with this woman.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, but can't break character, can't drop the accent. So it's like, no, ma'am, we will not be talking about that, but thank you for your service. This is not about you.
Yeah, we'll be getting back to the accent here in a little bit, which is, oh my God, absolutely one of my favorites of all time. But I want to know, what's your favorite costume that you've done?
Favorite costume?
Or if you don't have one, like, what are some of your favorite costumes?
Whew. Man, some of my favorite costumes, it's kind of tough to say because, like, there's favorite costumes and then there's, like, favorite characters.
Ooh,
Yeah, both.
Yeah, both.
Like, favorite costumes, one of them was, man, I felt so cool when we did War Machine.
Yeah.
Like, War Machine, we had got this mask and we had gotten it to light up in the eyes and we had the magnets so that you could pull it up to show my face, and we had put so many guns and like Nerf guns just everywhere. We even had the one that like came down and snapped and made a little snapping, cocking noise.
Yeah, I got the like faux Nerf shotgun, and I rearranged it and added like extra stuff to it, so it didn't look, sort of like a shotgun. But I had it to where you could like twist your shoulder just so, and it would hop down and like click down.
Yeah, it made the cocking noise. It was great. He made like a little Gatling gun and like straws and a can.
Oh yeah. I made a little Gatling gun out of a Coke can. Yeah,
it was amazing. Like the whole suit was so cool. Like I felt like such a amazing. I felt so amazing when I was in that suit. And I mean, it was a really cool suit. My character was all right. Like I didn't do the suit justice in my opinion, but like the suit was super cool.
It's really hard to act when you're wearing that much stuff. And when you know that your face hole is just so,
Yeah, I just say face hole again.
With a hole for your face.
I've heard both ways.
So your mouth, what? Get your face hole, Dre.
Oh,
your
man.
mind out of the gutter.
Another one of the favorite costumes. It's a costume I love and hate equally, and that is Groot. I don't know if you've ever been to superhero school and seen me as Groot, you'll know why I hate this costume. But Groot, it was this beautiful costume he made. It was like movie quality with all the foam and everything, and even had like the hands had little lights on them so you can do the "We Are Groot" thing. And like I was so excited to get this Groot costume, and I loved it. It was beautiful, and I love doing the character because like instead of having to say a bunch of crazy stuff, I'm basically just saying one line, but I get to say it in a whole bunch of different ways to see if I can try to make you understand what I'm trying to say. And like the whole thing was so much fun. But that was the hottest costume I have ever worn. Like the whole thing is encased in foam, so it's like all the body heat that I'm letting off is coming right back at me with a vengeance. And it was like I put the costume on, and there was like in the eyepiece there was just like this little jagged
there was a
piece.
little shard that I just couldn't seem to take
It
out.
was like right in my eye, like just waiting for me to sneeze real hard. Like I dare you to make a bad move.
And it was so I don't know what painful is like watching the superhero school, and it just looks like there's like sap dripping down because there's like a
all the kids were
pool
like, why is
collects.
water coming out of him? We're like, that's just his sap. And we're like, oh no, he's going to die. And then like right after you did that, you took it to the zoo, and you're like, let's do this outside in
and
the
it
summer.
was summertime.
Yeah.
It
It was one of the hottest days of the year. And you're like, yep, let's do this again.
I mean, it wasn't no quick show either. Like, we did the superhero school, and then it's like, now let's go into the lorikeets and take a picture next to the birds. The birds didn't want nothing to do with Groot, y'all. I went into the lorikeets, and every time somebody would get one of the lorikeets, try to bring it over, that bird would like, nope, quickly fly across. There was like nothing they could do. All they could do to get pictures was like they would take pictures of like me standing away from the birds and try to make angles to where it looked like the birds were closer to me. They weren't.
I haven't seen any of these pictures.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, Whitney Cotton took a bunch of them. It's actually
Okay.
the first time I had met her, and yeah, she did a whole bunch of those pictures, and I think she even had some of them on her photography page. But yeah, it was hilarious and just uncomfortably hot. But aside from all the many uncomfortable stories of that costume, it's still like my favorite build that you've done. Like, that costume is beautiful.
Thank you.
Obviously, I'm a big fan of the Black Panther build. I mean,
We have a whole story about that. that one's amazing.
I won't go too in detail about the build yet, since we got more story to go about that. But like, it looked amazing, and it was like one of those costumes. Like, I feel like I get more into character when the costume is right, and that was one of those when I put that on, I was like, oh no, I'm T'Challa right now, y'all. I rule stuff. Like, it was, I felt it in my soul. I was straight out of Wakanda. It made me so happy.
So, we have your favorites. Who are your least favorites?
Man, so many of them.
Well, because with Superhero School, we try to showcase like the best of the best, and then some characters that you don't really know, and sometimes the ones that aren't well known are kind of some of the worst characters.
Yeah, and hilariously, like, one of the characters that like I hated doing, but I always had fun doing, Killer Moth.
Oh yeah,
That is like the fan. Like, he and D-Man are
such
like
a fan
everyone's
favorite.
favorite characters.
I don't understand it, because like everything about Killer Moth is awful, but like the kids was eating it up. Like, I was sitting there, and like, we've had many like different changes of the Killer Moth. Like, we had like him in sweats with duct tape wrapped around the pants. Like, we messed around and got those tights.
Yep.
And those tights were tight.
Yep.
They were so funny looking. They were striped too.
Yeah, striped tights. We had like tennis shoes with duct tape to look like elf shoes, and then we got the rubber elf shoes.
Yeah.
Like, but yet the Killer Moth mask is one of my favorite masks that you have made. Like, it is amazing looking, and it's super ventilated too, so it doesn't get super hot. So, like,
Well, and I think what sells it is you do like your Mandark voice.
it's exactly what it is. Like, when I was thinking about the character, I was like, okay, so he's just basically like a copycat Batman, but like worse. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna Mandark him since he's a copycat Dexter. And I was like, why are these kids loving this so much? They was cracking up.
If I may put you on the spot,
Crap.
can we hear some Killer Moth?
So here's some Killer Moth. Everyone shrivel in terror. Here comes the Killer Moth. I'm going to be the one to take out Batman because I'm amazing. Killer Moth.
Yep. That is what keeps everyone coming back.
It was absolutely ridiculous.
That and the Killer Moth dance, like you had a crowd of kids that were like, "Hey, I learned the Killer Moth dance.
Yeah.
I learned the Killer Moth dance."
Yeah, yeah. The best and worst thing about that whole thing was, like, after doing Killer Moth a few times, like, I heard a kid come up to you like, "Hey, do you got anything with Killer Moth in it?" I was like, "You got any comics with Killer Moth?" I was like, "Oh, he's about to be so mad." like he don't do none of this stuff in the comics.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing is, a lot of that stuff, yeah, he did. It's just no dance.
No dance.
Yeah.
No dance.
But okay, so least favorite character, Killer Moth, and what's your least favorite costume?
You know what? I think most people that have done superhero school know which costume that is, and that is by far Beta Ray Bill. I hate Beta Ray Bill so much. Beta Ray Bill. And I was so excited about doing Beta Ray Bill because it was like, oh man, I get to be in Thor. Hey, this is going to be amazing. Let's do this. And then we made this whole costume, and like, it, no matter what time of the year we do this superhero school, it is hot in this costume. Like, we've got the long sleeve shirt on, we've got the foam wrapped around, and then the mask has got a beak that comes like way out here.
I mean, he's horse-faced.
He's very horse-faced,
He's
but
no
this was
Sarah Jessica Parker, but
this was extra horse-faced. This
Yep.
was Mr. Ed right here.
But which now that I've done the Splinter suit and other things like it, I think I know what I'm doing with Beta Ray Bill. Like, as soon as I did Splinter, everyone was like, "Oh, so you're gonna fix Beta Ray Bill next?"
Yeah, that would be great because we didn't quite have the mask set up when we were doing it. So every time I would be speaking, the mask would move with me, but it would always always go off on the edge. So it was kind of like a Stallone thing that Beta Ray was doing each and every time.
Yeah, and it kind of looked like Crow from Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah, it did.
It kind of looked like that when you look straight on. But the best worst ever part of it. Was at the end, because you sweat a lot. Like you sweat
so much.
Yeah.
So much. It was coming out of the mask.
Yeah.
It was coming down.
They were like, why is he crying? Yeah. But inside, like everything's kind of heat molded and curved. Inside the bottom jaw, it's like a little cup. And in that cup was full of your sweat. Mm-hmm. So when you took it off the mask, it looked like Beta Ray Bill just spit, like just
absolute drool.
Yeah,
and there's no real way to explain to you how much it was, but however much you're thinking right now, I mean, quadruple that. It was a lot.
This bottle of water.
Yeah, it was so much, and the whole time I'm doing it, I'm sitting up here talking to the kids, and I'm looking at this pool of sweat in the mask, don't talk don't move too hard. I'm afraid I'm just gonna splash it back at me.
That or if you look too, I'm
like if I'd have thought about it, I should have hey kids, look over there, and just tilt my head to the side, move it out the side.
All right, so that's your least favorite costume. Who's your least favorite character?
Least favorite character. My least favorite character to do was, I would say, probably Drax, the Destroyer.
Really?
Yeah, I know it's shy. Well, because with Drax was awful. Blaine does amazing as Drax right now. I'm so glad that he took up the mantle because I was not amazing at Drax.
So, my favorite thing you did was you were like, oh yeah, so. Batista's going to, this was right before the movie came out, so you're like, yeah, Batista's going to play him, so I want to play him like a big pro wrestler. So you came out and you're like, I'm going to snap into a Slim Jim.
Never had a Slim Jim in my life at this point, so this was going to be my first time eating a Slim Jim.
Yeah, so you were going Macho Man meets Rock, yeah. and you were such a huge personality, and you had everyone hanging on your every word, and then you're like, and that's when I snap. You bit into it, and immediately I saw the regret. It was the
so mad. It's why has Macho Man Randy Savage been feeding people this garbage for all these years?
Yeah, and then the energy level dropped. You're like, nah.
Right at that moment, my childhood got crushed. I believed in you, Randy.
Yeah, you're like, the Destroyer.
It was during it, energetically, I was shh, but no, never mind, and I threw it behind me. It wasn't because I was in character. I wanted to get that thing as far away from me as possible. It was awful. See, and that particular time that I did Drax, it worked because people knew that Batista was going to be Drax, but we hadn't actually seen how he was going to do the character,
right?
So no one really had anything to reference that with. But then the next time I did it, I tried to pull the same stuff, but everybody had seen Guardians by that time, and it was no one is feeling anything I'm doing because they all want to see him be like he is in the movie. And at that point, it was no, I've completely lost the crowd. Completely lost it. Everything was bad, and I've just sat here and been painted for 6 hours for no reason.
Yep. Oh, and the red that we were using at the time kept staining everyone. Oh man, yeah. Which
yeah.
Thank God we found the new good stuff.
Yeah, because I remember trying to get all the red that was right around in the eyes. I got all the green off, but that red stayed there for a day and a half, and I just walked around with these red eyes. Everybody's like, "What are you mad about? Who hurt you?"
So you're like, Buck. Take it up with him.
Just trying to get Thanos. Destroy stuff.
So you had kind of touched on this before, but your character process, because when I assign someone a character, usually I have kind of something in mind, and usually everyone kind of understands what I'm going for. With you, I trust anything like you and Cassidy. It's they're going to do whatever they're going to do, and it's going to be amazing. You know, like sometimes you'll come into the okay, I got nothing. What do you have in mind? But how do you build a character? How do you go about trying to find that character that you're playing, or what's your process?
Well, it just every character I approach it differently. Some characters like you can just tell that they need to be this particular way just by reading how they are in the comic books. Sometimes I'll take a character and I will think, who would I want to play this character in a movie? And then based on that, I will try to act like somebody else trying to act like that character in a movie. And honestly, that was part of how I got Black Panther. Was like it was basically like it just started out as like Kwame from Captain Planet meets Eddie Murphy from Coming to America. Like those were like my main two African accents at the time, and it's like I just kind of morphed all into that at the same time. It just kind of depends on what the character is, and usually whenever I'm given enough time to really work with the character, then I'll just spend like forever just trying to think about what would make this character interesting to me.
Yeah, like Bishop from the X-Men. Like you came out and had like a whole Terminator.
Yeah,
thing.
Bishop was fun because like the first time I did Bishop, like I just kind of just flat out just did Bishop just really monotone, and it was really boring. Honestly, I don't think anybody remember the first time I did Bishop, and I was like, man, this is too cool of a character for nobody to really feel it. I wasn't feeling it, and then like I started to think about how his story is basically just a retelling of Terminator, and I was like, I'm about to I'm going to tell parts of Terminator. I'm going to make everything about being dark and gritty, and then I was like, I'm even going to incorporate music into this, and so it was the first time that I actually had them play music, and I played the theme from Terminator while I was doing this whole monologue, and it just killed on that particular time.
I think it might just be that Bishop hates Gambit. I think that's why.
It might very well be.
I don't know, but are there any other characters that like you had to go like the extra mile for? Like, I mean, obviously Black Panther is like, the one that you've put the most work into. But is there anyone else that you're like, oh, I think I have a handle on that? Wait, no, I don't. And you went back to the table on.
A couple of, I definitely have had issues with whenever we would do Doctor Who Day, I would play Mickey Smith, and if you don't watch Doctor Who and know who Mickey Smith is, he's basically like Black Shaggy on Scooby Doo.
Zoinks.
Yeah, that's pretty much who he is. Like he's just Shaggy. He's scared of his own shadow, but he's got a great character arc, and like trying to get all his different arcs into the short amount of time that you have for superhero school, and also try to do a convincing accent is difficult, especially the accent part, because the English accent is not easy for me. So like I had to sit there and continuously talk in an accent for like 2 to 3 weeks in order to get that. And it has to be that long, because anytime that we've done it and I didn't do it for that long, you heard the accent was just in and out. It was like it would start off British and it would go like right to Indian. And then there was like a Mexican thing going on. And then it was just like, after a while, I was like American.
My favorite ever was when you were Baron Zemo. The German accent that kept fading.
That was everywhere.
We traveled the world that day.
We did. I was trying. I like kept having this idea of how I wanted the accent to sound in my head, and it's like, nope, I can't think about how I want the accent and remember his story at the same time. It's one or the other.
That's awesome. Now, you are one of the few people who ever did improv classes to improve your superhero school performances.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
It was a big help as well.
Really? What did they like? Not to go too far into it, but is there any little thing here or there that they taught you that you're like, oh, that's the thing to latch onto, and that's the new rule to go by?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of training on, first of all, thinking on your feet. I mean, and that's all superhero school is, because we rarely map out the whole process of what we're going to do. And honestly, I think I'm able to perform a lot better when I don't have preset lines. If I could just do it off the top of my head, it works out way better for me. Doing exercises before coming in that I learned from doing the class definitely helped out with that. And The main important thing that helped me from the class to translate over to superhero school is never use the word no. And by that, it's like, in improv, like, you're doing a skit, and then the person that you're doing the skit with might throw something really ridiculous at you, like, it's like, oh man, it sure is a hot day right here. Let's go surfing, but there's mechanical sharks in the water. And like, the whole thing is, don't steer away from whatever ridiculous thing they said. Just use it, just roll with it, and try to make it as funny as you can. And with the group of people that we have, there's a whole lot of ridiculousness that just comes out, and just trying to take what everybody does and try to see how you can make that work for you it's almost like a puzzle that just always seems to fit beautifully for some reason.
Well, one of the way that we make sure that people fit into the superhero school, I kind of say that it's kind of a smartasses club. Like, all of us are just wise guys that can play off each other.
This is very true.
And yeah, it's never dull when any of us are hanging out. Like, it's never a boring time.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
especially with liquor.
Why that never happens around here. I mean, yeah, definitely never during superhero school, but yeah,
no.
Sometimes late at night, after we close down, we'll relax, enjoy some adult beverages
responsibly.
Yeah, responsibly. Uber knows this place well. Anyway, so let's get into Black Panther, because it went from a character that I had always wanted to do to as soon as they were like, hey, it might be in the movies, it was let's make this the great undertaking.
Yeah,
because we'd started using the costumes to market the store and do more appearances, things like that. Mm-hmm. So I knew that we needed to have like the best costume that I could possibly make, because I didn't want anything that could be bought to look better. And at the time, there wasn't.
Right. Yeah, because he wasn't popular enough as a character. Not a lot of people knew who he was. Like, when we first started doing it, like, everybody was like, Batman's black. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people thought it was a variation of Batman.
Yeah, it's why do you have black Batman? He's not black Batman.
I was like, no, not Batwing. That was all that it was. But people got excited.
Yeah, so, and one of the things that I've always hated with superhero costumes are the sewn-in puffy muscles.
Oh, yeah.
Right, I hated it.
Yeah.
But Than Medlem showed me this really cool technique that he implemented on his bat suit on making, like, muscle-shaped armor plating. Mm-hmm. And it was I like that. So I drew up a couple sketches of Black Panther and showed you kind of what I wanted. And you were like, ooh, I like this. I don't like that. Let's downplay this. I really like this. Let's go more with this.
Yeah.
We agreed that the gold looked better than the silver, which, hey, we backed the wrong horse on that one. But
I mean, it was at the time. The gold was more regal looking at the time, and
right.
We still stepped it up, and we got away from the classic cape, with that felt cape we had for the longest.
But the suit, as I made it, the thought process was, okay, so it's going to be a vibranium suit. I want it to look like, if he's fighting, each piece he could take off and stab someone with, use offensively. Mm-hmm. So everything came to a point, and everything, kind of had a rounded, like, looked like it could be gripped and, and used as a weapon.
Yeah, it really had like a Christopher Priest feel to me.
Yeah. Well, oh man, yeah. Like that's to me, like, that is the greatest Black Panther stories.
Gold star Black Panther right there.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like,
yeah, if you get a chance to read anything from Black Panther, it's Christopher Priest run. It's beautiful 90s right there.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, that's 2000s.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, like everything that they keep saying is like it's super 90s, like all the way down to like dude being chased by the president. He keeps calling him Bubba.
Yeah.
like Everett Ross is basically Michael J. Fox in the whole story. It's just amazing.
Which I mean, that's where Everett Ross first shows up. That's where the Dora Milaje got introduced.
Yeah.
Like
actually had hair at that point too.
Yeah.
It was pretty amazing. Wasn't that when Kamoya first really started to be a presence?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesomeness.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, if you get a chance, check out the Chris Priest Black Panther. He's absolutely one of my favorite comic writers of all time, except for his 90s DC stuff is terrible for some reason.
Yeah.
Absolutely the worst. Like, I had a chance to meet him, and I things came up and I didn't, but like, I just wanted to meet him and just do I love everything you've written except for this. Why? Why is this not good? Because I mean, some writers are, will do I was going through a thing and like, yeah. But anyway, we're getting off track there. So I started construction on the costume, and you started construction on the character. Like how you wanted to play him, what you wanted to include. You said Eddie Murphy and Kwame. But the accent is flawless.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I've tried many accents through superhero school, and if you've been unfortunate enough to have to hear them, I apologize because they have not all been good. Matter of fact, most of them have been quite awful. But I tried. But for some reason, the African accent, it would click, and I think it's just years of watching like. Coming to America, Captain Planet, a little bit of Lion King, just throw up as many as I can, and it just meshed well with this accent. And then when the movie came out, when Civil War came out, and it just so happens that Chadwick Boseman was using the same accent that I was using, I was like, yes, nailed it.
Doesn't hurt that you two look very similar, like just kind of like right in here.
Yeah,
like the eyes to upper lip, like that's
what we needed.
Yeah,
that's what we needed.
Oh man, that's so much. Yeah. So like when you take off the helmet, everyone's like, oh wait, no.
It's like at that point I was like, this character is tailored for me. Everybody has their character. Steve got Superman. Everybody has like this one. For me, Flowers, it's Lex Luthor. No one can play Lex Luthor quite like he does. But finally having that Black Panther was like so good.
All right, well, I'm going to put you on the spot again. If we can hear a little something from T'Challa.
All right. Engage all defenses. Raise the shield and get this man a pencil and some paper. He is going to write down notes.
That's awesome. So,
everything in the world and the light touches is our kingdom. So
we did an appearance on 43, and Lacey let through the whole show, interacted with you, and you didn't drop character once. And then we were leaving. She's, oh wait. What part of Africa are you from? And you were like, Oklahoma City.
Yeah. In that
she was
costume.
like, what?
From Oklahoma City. You have not heard of this? It is a lot of thunder there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and just everything. She was just floored. She was just, no. Yeah, and Lucas was like, I spent time in Africa. Like, I should know.
Like, no. Like, that gets it down. Yeah. It's hilarious. Like, we've had a few different superhero school events where I was Black Panther, like, outside. Like, we were at the baseball game for that for that charity thing. And, I was doing Black Panther. And I had a couple of people ask me what part of Africa I was from. And they were legit being serious. And I had to, without breaking character, I had to keep telling them, no, I am from right down the street. No, it's just not far at all. No. Yeah. No. I'm from right here. We probably went to school together.
It was good stuff. So the construction of Black Panther, I wanted to have it done by a certain date so we could start, kind of fixing the costume if need be, because there's a lot of wear and tear on the suits that we use. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to see what worked, what didn't work, if something broke, how would I need to redesign it. So we had everything kind of scheduled on a weekly basis, and we had a week a Saturday that was set aside to construct this thing, and you had to move your schedule around. Mm-hmm. My wife had to move hers. Karen had to move hers. Like, everyone kind of converged on this point. just so happened to be the same night that we ended up having a Power Rangers reunion signing here. Mm-hmm. And they had asked if I would let them do an after hours like panel thing where like everyone could pay and do this whole thing. And the lady that was running it was like, you need to tell me who's going to be here, that isn't going to pay. I was like, well, it's going to be us. We're going to be on the other side of the store. We're going to be as quiet as we can. We just have this thing that we have to do. She's like, is there any way you could move it? I said, absolutely not. But we'll be super quiet. She said, okay, well, fine.
Yeah, she was interesting.
Yeah, so we had to put you in the skin tight black pants and shirt, and in order to glue the pieces on, we had to hot glue them to you. But we had to put these silicone pads underneath the shirt, like on your skin, underneath the shirt, and then we'd hot glue and hope for the best.
Yeah, we didn't actually get to use the silicone pads that much because of how they weren't flexible enough to go in certain places. We used cardboard for most of that.
Oh, I forgot about that.
We used cardboard. It was not thick at all. So it was like at that point, it was basically just to protect my hair from sticking to the pads as you were gluing them to the pants.
Yeah. So a test in pain tolerance, which just adds to the oh my God, look at the level of commitment that you put towards this. Like it's amazing.
Yeah, it was like the kind of pain where like it wasn't enough to really complain super duper hard, but it was just enough to make tons and tons of jokes to let you know that burns.
Yeah.
So that's going to leave a mark.
So the most awkward part of it was when we had to glue on the butt armor. Because it's a 360 costume. Like,
yeah,
there's no cape to hide the back of it like a Batman costume or anything like that. So we had to get the back of you.
Those little quotation marks.
Yeah.
Little
like, what is this? Yeah. So,
but.
So, the whole Power Rangers thing had taken a lull at the time, and everyone just kind of looked over to see what we're doing, and everyone had a hand on your butt, holding these, waiting for the glue to dry.
Yeah, just holding the butt armor on me, and I'm just sitting there, finally feeling important.
Yeah. So you look over, and I just catch enough of it. You let out the biggest smile. I'm like, man, no one is ever coming back because we look like complete weirdos.
Like all you can do is just be like, hey, enjoy the show.
Yeah.
You can watch from there, you can watch over here, but you're going to see something today.
So, fun thing, because of that, Justin Nemo, saw us doing all that, and his Power Ranger suit broke. And he says, Buck, I saw you doing that thing. It's really impressive. Can you repair my suit?
Yeah.
And after seeing that, it was this is amazing.
Yeah.
This is how they do it.
That's amazing indeed.
Yeah, and then after seeing it, it's this isn't far from what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you feel like Zordon at that moment?
Oh, I really did. I was such a static, floating, warped head of some guy that they probably paid once.
That's more phenomenal.
Oh, man. Anyway, so eventually we got everything glued on you and got the helmet, and then, man, we probably spent an hour of you just posing because you were just so hyped about it.
I was pumped. I was like, I wanted to make sure, see what kind of range of motion I had, which was amazing how much range of motion I had compared to a lot of the costumes we had with armor. Because War
Machine, there's no sitting down.
None. You can't even bend your knees. I mean, you can to walk, but you bend it too far and you immediately feel like something is going to fall off or break or something like that. But I was like, no, I can crouch down and do cat poses and all this. It's like I might do a backflip. I've never been able to do it before, but maybe I can do it now because of this costume.
Yeah. I mean, when doing it, it was where do I place stuff? Where do I not? What's the thinnest foam I can put here? What's the thickest? So yeah, we made sure that we could really make a solid suit that you could do anything and everything that you'd want to do in.
And it was amazing. That costume has got so many fun memories for me. Like one of the funniest ones was like when we had done when we had done a superhero school at I think it was BlitzCon, and we had did Avengers there, and Philip Moore was there. Who was the host of Nick Arcade on Nickelodeon, and like he got to see this particular portion of it, but like I was talking with a microphone with the Black Panther mask, which was covering my face, and no one could hear what I was saying when I put it up to my face, and I kept talking, and it's like, "Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?" No one could hear anything, and then I put it to one of my eye holes. I was like, "Can you hear me now?" And everybody heard it. They was like, "Yeah, we can hear it really clear now." And I was like. I tried to put it underneath my mask to see if they could hear me now. They was like, "No, we can't hear it." I put it back on there, and they was like, "We hear it perfectly." I was like, "Are you telling me I'm going to do the whole show like this now?" They were cracking up laughing. Philip had to get up and go off. He was laughing so hard. I was like, I just made the dude from Nick Arcade crack up. Booyah!
Oh yeah, the booyah. So that brings me to your favorite moments of doing the special events. Mm-hmm. What do you have anything that like, oh man, like this one was my favorite, or this is some of the best?
Lots of different moments. But yeah, I definitely loved we would do like some of the school events. Britain Elementary, love going over there. Those kids are amazing, and they get so hype going out there. It's awesome. Like they feed you energy and you give it right back to them, and it's almost like being at a concert.
Oh yeah,
like it's amazing. And I definitely remember like I had gone there as Spider-Man previously, and it was really good. But then I went there the following year as Cyborg, and I remember them kids just lost it.
Yeah, which we have video that sorry about the video quality. It was taken with a lower quality phone at the time.
Yeah,
but we should be able to intercut it here. But yeah, so like that's them just losing their mind over this thing, and like some of the kids were doing their best to just like, all right, we're sitting down because our teacher's watching, like right up front, we can't do anything, but like the kids in the back were just, oh my god,
yeah, so many booyahs being yelled,
yeah,
so amazing.
Yeah, you were there because after the initial assembly, they realized that they couldn't do anything after that, so they're like, go ahead, and the kids were just like right on you.
Yeah, that was interesting. If you have a problem with personal space, it was gone out the window at that.
Yeah,
at
but
that moment.
I mean, like, yeah, we had Batgirl, we had Spider-Man. I forget who else we had, but like,
I think it was just us three.
Was it?
Was Supergirl there too?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
Supergirl. Yeah,
Yeah,
Supergirl.
because I think Carrie went as Supergirl.
Carrie went to Supergirl. And we had Cassidy as Spider-Man.
we had Keegan as Spider-Man.
Keegan
yeah.
was Spider-Man.
So,
yeah.
yeah, like you were definitely star of the show.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Definitely had a lot of fun with that one. I was like, yeah, the big bright shining star.
So I'm gonna close this out with a couple store stories. One is your level of commitment and love of superhero school. So that first year of superhero school, like you hit us like right in the middle as we were figuring out things, and towards the end we were like, okay, I think that we have this. Let's try things that we have never done before.
Yeah.
So and like from the beginning, everyone was like, hey, we want Ninja Turtles. Hey, we want Star Wars.
Yeah.
And finally, I came and I was like, all right, we'll do Star Wars.
Yeah.
So you were the first one I told, and I knew that I could kind of make you do anything at that point. Like you were, all right, Buck, I'm in. I know yet.
Buck, don't tell everybody.
Yeah. It was all right. Let's mess with Dre. Let's mess with Dre hard on this one. So I sit you down and I say, all right, Dre. So we're gonna do Star Wars, and like your eyes light up like a kid on Christmas morning. It's just, oh my god, because like I knew that you were just waiting. You're like, oh man, who am I gonna be?
My soul was ready.
Yeah. So you're like, am I gonna be Boba Fett? Am I gonna be Darth Vader? Am I gonna be Mace Windu? Like, who am I gonna be? Mm-hmm. Oh my god. So I said, all right, Dre. So I've secretly been working on this for months. I've got a near movie quality thing. Like this mask is like it's nothing I've ever done before. It's so intricate, and I just kept going and going and going.
I'm super invested at this point.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, tell me more.
And he's like, "Oh my god! Like, there's no way I'm saying no to anything. Who is it?" And I say, "Jar Jar. Here's your pants." And Kira, my wife got these like gold shiny pants and like a red shiny top, which are absolutely not a Jar Jar thing.
Just disco style.
Yeah. So I said, "Here, go try these on.
Yeah.
I'll go get the mask." So you go in back and you put these things on.
And the whole way over there, I'm just cursing him under my breath, like, "Oh man, I'm gonna key this dude's car.
Yeah.
How dare he play with my emotions like this?" I was so pumped. I'm calling in sick on Superhero School.
Yeah. So he's in back, and I think it was just me at the time. So you come out in the shiny clothes, and you're like, "Misa's so excited. Misa gonna do a good job." I said, "Dre, I'm kidding. You're gonna be Mace Windu." You're like, "Oh my god, booyah!" You're like, "Yeah." Buck, I didn't want to tell you that I didn't want to be Jar Jar. I hate him so much. He's the worst. I don't want
nothing to do with him. And the thing is, like, he still made me squeeze into that super tight spangly outfit. Like that was a tight fit. So you bet not have no pictures of that.
Well, here's the fun thing. That ended up being your Beta Ray Bill suit.
Yeah, I'll say, I'm
Do you
pretty
not remember
sure
that?
you've worn those pants.
Yeah.
The pants, yeah.
Yeah.
The pants, yeah. But we had a different shirt for
Yeah,
Beta Ray
but
Bill.
well, yeah. After that, but yeah, it's
Somehow I didn't mind the pants quite as much. It made me feel like a wrestler.
But yeah, that you trying those on was to see if they'd fit for other costumes. But
Yeah.
I thought it was the perfect time to pull that over on you.
To be a jerk is
Yep.
what it was.
Again, it's the kind of club we run for. So, final story of the night. One of my favorite Dre moments. We used to have super epic Nerf battles up here, and we still do from time to time.
The best. Best.
Someone had come in and just sold us that day a Clone Trooper helmet. For like next to nothing, but it was like a really cool, high quality one. And it was you, me, Mittens, and Zach up here playing. And Stephanie had just started doing her New World creation stuff, and she set up this really elaborate table with the setup and all this stuff. And we're like, "All right, no one shoot over here. Be as careful as you can over here."
That was such a clumsy day.
So we, everyone's kind of running around the store, kind of, keeping more towards the north side of the store. And finally, Zach chased you around the store, and like at that point, I think that we were teaming up, and you were rounding the corner and just bit it, just right into Stephanie's setup. Just
It was worse because
you knocked
I
it over.
was trying to do some Matrix stuff in my head. I was gonna jump in the air and then shoot Zach, and then somehow land on my feet. But it wasn't until I was fully in the air that I realized I'm not nimble enough for this to work at all. So like in midair, I hit the shot, and I don't even think I got close to hitting him. But then I just immediately bit it right into the thing, and I was like, "What was I thinking?"
Yeah, into the table. So then we stopped everything, checked out every single piece like meticulously. Like, did we damage it? Nope. Did we damage? Nope. So we put up everything. Everything was good. We're like, okay, cool. We cleaned up all of our stuff. Yay! Right. So then you end up getting chased again, and then wouldn't you know, back into the stuff you go. Not as epic this time. Like you just knocked everything over. You're like, okay, we'll just be more careful. And by that time, Mittens and Zach had kind of worn themselves out. So then it was just you and me against each other. And I had one of the knockoff like Nerf bows, and you had the mega darts, which was like both of them aren't great to get hit by. Like they kind of sting.
They both hurt, but man, ain't nothing quite like the pain of getting hit by one of those arrows.
Yeah.
Right? Oh man, that bow hurts.
So I got ridiculously good quick at it. So much so that like you had just set up and done the thing and still had the clone trooper helmet on.
Yeah, put the clone trooper helmet on because after getting hit a couple times with them arrows, I'm like, I need protection.
Yeah.
So the only helmet that I could find that had some kind of sustainability was like a plastic clone trooper helmet that I put on. I put that on and I just like, I'm safe. Ain't nothing gonna happen to me.
All right, so you'd set up like a little fort for yourself. You peeked up, guns ready, and I clocked you right in the middle of the head. Like it was the most perfect shot.
I swear what I tell you. Right in between the eyes.
Yeah, and then the helmet just fell apart. Like, yeah, like it was designed to like fall apart ever so perfectly around you. And then we were like, you know what, we're done.
It was the weirdest thing ever. It's like you hit it right at the hinges, so it was like armor that just disappeared in a video game.
Yeah.
Like I hit once and it just jumped off my body. I was like the dude from Ghouls and Ghosts. It was like as soon as I got hit, the armor just fell off, and I was just sitting here in heart draws.
Yeah, luckily we were, like it all fit back together. But it was I think we're done. I think we're gonna call it good with that bow.
Yeah.
We're like, I think so too. Let's clean up.
Yeah, before somebody mess around and get a concussion out of here.
Yeah.
It was close.
Oh, well, cool. Well, Dre, thanks for stopping by and thanks for being part of the New World podcast.
Well, thank you for having me.
I really appreciate you taking the time. Stephanie, thank you for joining me again.
Aw.
Yeah, so that'll wrap it up for this week's New World podcast. I'm Buck Berlin. Running the show is Brad Reed. You can catch him weekly on Nerds to Men, pretty much everywhere that you can find the New World podcast, oddly enough. I wonder if there's some sort of connection.
Catastrophe.
Illuminati.
Yes, you can find us on Speaker, Streaker, Stitcher, Witcher, SoundClouds, and whatnots, and I don't know, hobos on the street. All right, we'll catch y'all next week.
See ya.
Bye.
Mr. Pink forever.